Hey, good evening, YouTube. Another Sunday video. So today I wanted to talk about. Actually, there's three topics, but for today I'm only gonna talk about one. One that's been on my mind today all day. I know that in the past I've said, forget about the past, focus on the present, and don't look too far ahead. But today, for whatever reason, a moment from the past was in my mind because I was really looking into the whole vaccines, the whole Tylenol claim, and environmental factors that causes autism. Stuff that the Trump administration claimed, right? So I was saying maybe there's some truth to it. Let's go investigate. But that part is for another topic. So I was thinking during the pandemic, right? Started in 2020, and you know, thinking back about the pandemic, I feel like yes, it was horrible, but I feel like there's a lot of good in it. A lot of good that I feel like we're missing now. Um, During the pandemic, at least from my experience, I was, and I would assume the experience from other people, became closer with their family, spend more time with their family within those 2, 3, 4 years, right? Lockdown at home. And now you don't really have that time anymore. It's just working and working and working while the US dollar devalues itself. And then it's like, wow, why can't we spend more time like we do or did during the pandemic, right? I feel like in order to grow as a person, I feel like you also have to spend time with your family, get along with them, give help you get a bigger why, or I guess reinforce your why, right? And pardon me, I thought there was a car pulling up in my driveway. I live in an apartment, so um yeah, another thing that was good about the pandemic was probably that people started waking up to the truth. I know, at least for me, since I was in college, I kind of shut off my brain a little bit, but then when the pandemic ended, it's just suddenly everything turned back on again, or at least some of it, right? Truths about who controls the world, who controls our currency, stuff like that, or stuff like, oh, the US dollar isn't really as strong as our Roman Empire claims it to be, right? Um, and let's talk about one of the other bad, which might be a little bit controversial, depending whatever, right? And this is where I get into the ABA stuff, right? From that other video, I'm gonna talk about some of that stuff right here. ABA, applied behavior analysis, right, to field in psychology. We've always been told that 1 out of 59 kids are born with autism, right? And that the causes of autism are unknown, right? And since the pandemic, the increase of autism, there's been an increase of autism since the pandemic. Now it's 1 in 39 kids, right? And now suddenly we have better diagnosis, we have better ways to know who has autism or who doesn't. But why is it that a lot of it, according to Google AI, because I got this answer from Google AI, according to Google AI, not majority, but a lot of the patients that are being diagnosed with autism are between the ages of 4 and 8. And this is post-pandemic, right? It's like, okay, like you have to really turn on your critical thinking, be like, okay, from the ages of 4 all the way to the 8, age 8, wouldn't have I at least thought, hey, maybe there's something suspicious with my child. And if autism has been, since the pandemic, 1 in 39, maybe a neighbor or maybe someone at school might have a similar problem. But why is it suspiciously 4 to 8 years old now? I don't know. I just really find that suspicious. And before the pandemic, is just, early age, whatever, right? But now suddenly it's like 4 to 8 typically, right? And that had me thinking, what if it was what if it was the VAXX that was promoted and was forced upon everyone in order to end the lockdown, the pandemic, right? I was thinking about that because a lot of, forget what science says, forget what the CDC says, forget what the WHO says. It's a bunch of bullshit. A lot of people have reported having mental problems or biological problems since the pandemic, since taking the jab, myself included. I know, at least for me, I'm telling this from personal experience. Before I took it, my memory was fine. My short-term memory was fine. I could speak Spanish very fluently, right? And now I'm forgetful. Suddenly, you tell me something right now, I'll forget probably a few seconds later, right? And sometimes when I say something, I think I said it, but I didn't actually say it. I thought about it, but I didn't actually say it, even though in my mind, I thought I actually said it, right? It's a little weird. So people end up saying, oh, you said this. Really? I thought I said this. Oh, how strange. And then with Spanish, it just, or maybe it was the fact that I was mostly speaking English because I took classes through Zoom. Maybe that's a factor, right? But I know from experiences from my family and relatives that they've known people whose children took, I don't know, I guess the MMR vaccine or just a flu vaccine, whatever, right? That they suddenly come out with brain damage after that. And my mom specifically said that there's this girl, she was perfectly fine until she had to take a vaccine in order to go to kindergarten, right? She felt bad after she took this vaccine, and suddenly it was like a retrograde, at least that's the way my mom put it, retrograde autism, like that, after taking that vaccine. And then with the COVID VAXX, it was like, this can't be a coincidence, man. This cannot be a coincidence. A lot of people have a lot of mental problems, a lot of biological problems. A lot of people, especially older people, died after taking the damn thing, the jab, right? Or I guess they also had heart problems, what led to them dying, which the heart problems only happened, or I guess only increased after taking the jab. So then that brings me to conclude the coincidence that after the pandemic, you have an increase of autism, and suddenly it can't be the jab. It can't be the jabs. It cannot be the jabs. It's scientifically supported that it can't be the jabs. But who funded, who supported all these research? That's my question. Who and why? But I don't think they'll ever say the truth. I don't think they ever will. And I think the criminals who need to be locked up are Fauci, Bill Gates, the WHO, the CDC, the Biden administration, and the Trump administration for promoting all of this stuff, promoting misinformation and giving millions of people problems, right? So, yeah, I believe that's what's up with the pandemic, or at least what was the pandemic or the plandemic, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, wow. It's crazy how much me as a person who works in the field of psychology grew up to understand and accept the truths that were told to me, or the truths that were told to me by my own field, just for me to question their validity. Is it really true? Probably not. That's, like I said, that's just my opinion. That's just my speculation. That's just what I've been thinking. That's just based on the research that I came up with, drawing lines here and there, looking at coincidences, because coincidences are just coincidences, right? In the eyes of the government, the eyes of the media, they're just coincidence, right? Just, don't worry about it. Turn off your critical thinking. You'll be fine. And yeah, man, it's just that's just something I had on my mind today. If they cannot destroy the nuclear family, they for sure are gonna find some way to disconnect the nuclear family through work. And the devaluation of the dollar, everything that's going on right now, especially the war with Iran, the cost of living, all of that. If the nuclear family hasn't been dismantled in a lot of families, it will be dismantled through disconnection, through overwork. I don't really get time now to spend with my family. With my sister, of course, because we run, we do some stuff together, right? To get ourselves back in shape. But outside of that, it's like, wow, man, it's just that's just what I think, anyways, right? But I don't think I have much else to say outside of that, other than stay safe, question science, question the narrative, and if they say something is safe, I would say just double check just to make sure, or at least I guess I would say wait, let other people do it, see the consequences, and maybe come to a decision afterwards, right? And try to connect with your family. That's the most important thing too. Connect with your family and try to stay present. Yeah. All right. Good night.